Hello and welcome to the Stanza of Ibrox. Couple of things to say before we even get started, before we get talk about the famous. Couple of apologies, especially for myself. Been absolutely terrible with the old health. So that's me sorted now. Hopefully, managed to get a flu and it absolutely knocked me for six after that bug I had. So to everybody, I am so sorry about the lack of content. I'll try and keep above it in the meantime. What I've got tonight is the last time we spoke, Scotty. I think we were still in second place,
I think so,
and aye, and we were 5 points behind, but that was with a game in hand. Things have certainly changed, mate. Eh?
Aye, definitely. I think we're top of the league now, we know.
I think we could be, mate. I think we could be. But it's good to see you, mate. It's good to see you.
Aye, good to be on, mate. Thanks for having me
Brilliant.
again.
Aye, thanks for dishing me out a hole yet again. Now, the next person I'm going to introduce, right, is somebody that I think that most Rangers fans will know. This is a face that you all know, and you will know well. Now, I shouldn't even need to introduce this guy, but let's hear it for Super Jack Butland and goal. Oh no, sorry guys, sorry, no, it's no, it's our Dean. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, pal. How are you?
I'm doing brilliant. You absolute gorgeous man.
Yes, mate. Thank you.
Oh, I'm not too sure. I don't know if I can do the rest of this stream. I'll tell you what. I hope there's no lasses in this stream. By the way, that'll be it. That'll be it. Top stream of the whole YouTube. Right? How you doing, Dean?
I'm brilliant, mate. How are you?
I'm
Good weekend.
Aye, definitely. It could have been better, but I'm pretty happy with what happened.
Aye.
Right, Dean, you're a bit similar to myself. You're new to this scene. You're working with the Rangers Journal, with your
Aye.
Scotty and Kai, who's just started it up. Brand new Rangers pod. A lot more professional than me. A lot more professional. You guys do everything. You just go into all the stats and the XG and player reviews and things where I just talk shite for an hour and just talk about the team that I love, right? Could you tell everybody that's watching everything about yourself and what you do at the Rangers Journal, please?
Aye, just pretty much just what you said there. It's good to be part of something that's quite unique. And we're all singing for the same hymn sheet. We're all like-minded in terms of, I guess, the type of content that we want to put for everybody. Which I think is which is pretty good in this game anyway. It's good to be a bit different and looking for different ways to interact and so aye, it's all good, loving it. Just started but loving it and bring it on is what I say.
Aye, you say when I first started, I started off, I was just phoning up random Rangers pods and all that. All the guys will know me. I used to go in all my rants and all that, especially when we were lumping with a certainly ID player. The less said about that man, the better. And I just carried it on. I joined the Gallant Few and I loved it. And I just doing what I think we all love doing is talking about Rangers. So let's get into this. I'll start off with you first, Scotty, right?
Right.
Now, as I said, we haven't spoken since we were in second place, 5 points behind, with a game in hand, and then we've just turned into an animal. An absolute machine. Now, I won't bother talking about all the other games because all the other pods have spoke about that. We know what's happened in that, how players have been in that. So we'll go straight into the game yesterday. Side came up. I think there was only one really major change there, wasn't there, mate?
Aye, definitely. Teams moved up a gear, innit? Finally, we're seeing a style of football. We're churning out results. We've got a strong mentality. We're winning trophies. We're top of the league. We're just absolutely flying at the minute, Curry. There's nothing else for it, to be brutally honest with you.
What about you, Dean? When you seen the side, the starting 11, any surprises there? Or well, as I said, I think the only one was maybe Sterling. I think that was the only one that everybody went, oh, really?
Well, we pod the other night, we actually touched on Sterling, and I think it was maybe Ross or somebody had said about Sterling starting, or maybe it was you, Scott. I can't mind. Somebody had said about him starting in the forward position, and it wasn't really, you saw him come in and do it in various positions. So when that was put in front, you're like, well, that's actually maybe quite possibly what's going to happen. So I wasn't surprised that I saw it, and the man didn't look out of place at all with what I saw. So again, another tactically astute move by the manager.
It seems to be something he's doing a lot. I mean, see, I think Sterling played in every position, but as I said, I still think it's a bit early to judge him though, because he's not played in goal yet, and he's not played as number 9. So until he plays the positions, I'm not going to make any decisions in this laddie. But there is potential. There's definitely potential there somewhere. Right, onto the game, guys. Hearts, right? Third place. They're absolutely flying. They've been beat this year. Their main man, Shankland, mere top goal scorer. I'm not going to lie. I was a bit apprehensive. I was a bit worried before the game. I was like, that this, although it's at Ibrox, this could be a tricky one. We need to be on our game. We can't let Shankland get any room at all, because he will score. That's what I was thinking beforehand. But were you thinking at all in that day lines, or were you pretty confident?
Well, I think me and Scotty both had the same prediction, 2-1, but comfortably win 2-1, but it'd be a tight game, and we went through all the stats of Hearts, and put things into perspective of why it could possibly be our toughest game of the season. And in the back of my head, and I think amongst others as well, everybody's been saying it's when it clicks, it'll be a thumping to somebody, and not one of us really were thinking it's going to be Hearts, because Hearts are the probably the team to beat in the league, because they've been so impressive. And we actually talked about Shankland in a bit of depth. And how Hearts were going to play. Are they going to sit in, or are they going to come and play football, sort of thing, So it was it wasn't what anybody was thinking when we were 5-0 against Hearts. I mean, when was the last time we beat Hearts 5-0 in general? I think it's been quite a long time since that last happened, irrespective of this season. But it was a joy to behold, to say the least.
I definitely, mate. I can't really argue with that. What about you, Scotty? Did you have any apprehension before the game? Were you a bit worried about what maybe happened before the game actually kicked off?
I had major reservations, because this has been probably the toughest challenge that the team was supposed to have this year since the return of the winter break. It's probably been my hardest game, if I'm being honest with you, Curry. And I think we've dispatched in a manner that we've not seen in a long time, if that's fair to say. Before the match, I was quite apprehensive about how we're going to keep Shankland quiet, etc. And just to put us out there, Shankland still hit a post. He'd one chance, I think, maybe 2, and he still managed to hit a post. I thought it was a wee bit of like Shankland v Dessers yesterday, and Dessers has obviously come out and tapped. Dessers was outstanding. But for me, it's getting me a bit more confident, but I'm still a wee bit cautious about it, if you know what I mean, because many times we've been stung off a squad of players, Curry, you know what I mean, with your core of Goldson, Tavernier, Lundstram. I mean, they've all been there for years. They're always the 3 main starters in a team, and we've seen a good few letdowns off them, if I'm being brutally honest. But we've now got a serial winner in charge of these players, and they're producing the goods. To me, anyway.
Well, that's what I was about to say to you there, mate. I was going to disagree with you, as I normally always
You're a
do.
surprise.
In a way, I do agree with you what you're saying about we've got a certain core of players that have let us down time and time again. But the big difference is Phil Clement's at this club now. And this may come and bite me in the arse, but I don't care. I think he's got the guys playing the way that they know they all can play. And I don't think they will slip up. I think this is going to come down to probably playing against that mob, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't think that the mentality that we had is there anymore.
I think like
We've seen a lot of giving up, a lot of players giving up, or maybe not so much giving up, but no giving 100%. And I think yesterday's game, that's the best we've probably played for 55, I would say. That was the best performance for a Rangers side for 55, because there was the one. Now, you know who I'm always going to be critical of, right? Even I can't criticise that guy, because every single one of them, even the guys that came on as sub, I'll leave the one guy that was pish, but he's always pish. Every single one of them were brilliant, bar one, for me anyway.
if I can come back in, Corey, see if you look at your likes of a 2-1 win at Hearts. I was in a gallant few with Shona at night, and Shona's like, this is a massive result for us because of the last minute winner for Danilo, and we went to St Mirren, we got a kind of scruffy 1-0 victory, but we didn't really look in any danger, even though St Mirren hit the bar. I was sitting there that day and I was like, it's all right, we've got these 3 points kind of wrapped up. We're keeping clean sheets, which is the biggest thing in a title winning team. We're barely conceding any goals. You're suiting goals in a final. The biggest thing for me was the League Cup final. I think that's when the mentality of this group of players changed, because we weren't great in the League Cup final. We were average at best. Tavernier pops up with a last minute, well, not a last minute winner, but pops up with a winner. And you just seen everything kind of starting to change and grow. The Betis result was massive as well, to show these players that they have got it and they can do it on a consistent basis. They can beat the bigger teams in Europe. So, to me, it's all down to mentality. And come on, you constantly see it off him, these pressers. He's always setting a precedent that we're not getting too far ahead of ourselves. We know we're top of the league, but we're taking it one game at a time. And what he says yesterday about what I was really impressed with was, if I see any of these players starting to get ahead of themselves, they're not going to play. It's just constant. We've got a manager in charge now that's put the standards back into Rangers Football Club, and I couldn't be very happy if I'm being honest.
Sorry to come in there, Curry, but you've got a man in charge who's actually in charge. Like, that comment kind of epitomises his you know, what he is to the club. Like, he's at, do you know what I mean? That guy just epitomises everything, Scotty, and to me it really does. I just thought I would add that, because it's just like, that's him to a T, isn't it? He's actually a manager who's actually in charge. And you see, it's a massive difference as well. Like, I've look at these type of things in a bit of detail, as his communication from the sideline as well, and how the players react to his communication and game change tactics and things like that. The players just seem a lot more receptive and seem a lot more understanding of what he's actually saying and what he's wanting them to do in comparison to previous regimes. In my opinion, anyway, it's a massive difference, because that to me can be the way that games are won and lost of players not doing their in-game change tactics and things like that. And he seems to get all the guys doing what he's wanting them to do.
Aye, well, there's nothing I can't add to that, Dean, because that's exactly what it is. Now, I'm going to say something that will probably get me hung, drawn, and quartered. The team, the way we played yesterday, reminded me of Postecoglou with aim. Comes out, absolutely battered them from start to finish, and never gave them a chance to get in the game. And you could even tell that Hearts were shitting themselves. They couldn't wait for that to be that final whistle to go. Because although it did end up 5-0, it could have been 7-8 or 9.
Mhm.
We were that dominant, and that's what I think the change in the way we're playing. We're starting to dominate games now. We're not just playing good enough to win. We're dominating games now. Now back going to the first goal. Great work by Cortez on the left. Puts a lovely pass. What the fuck's a pass? A pass into Diamonde. Controls it. Bang. Left foot. 1-0. I'm going mental in the house. Ibrox is jumping. That's his second goal in 2 games. One with his right foot, one with his left foot. Has this been a master stroke by Knutson? Is it Knutson? That's Knutson, isn't it?
Kloppen.
Kloppen.
No,
Knutson, where am I getting Knutson? Kloppen, sorry. Is this a masterclass for Kloppen?
Aye, I would say so. I think see if you look at it in a wee bit more detail, Corey, I think see the way Cortez and Diamonde have come in. No experience of British football. It's physical, it's fast. You don't get time in the ball. And whatever he's done, but he's come into that club and seen it like Cifuentes and Lammers, and he couldn't get a tune out of them, right? He tried. But whatever he's done in terms of bringing in Cortez and Diamonde, whatever he's done to get them settled, I think he's changed stuff in the background to help these guys settle in. And it could be as simple as, I don't know, making sure they've got a family member over with them, or making sure they're comfortable in their surroundings in terms of where they're living and all this kind of stuff. I think Cummon's doing an awful lot of work in the background to any players that sign to make sure they get looked after and to make sure they settle. And see if you look at even Ridvan Yilmaz now, he's only just turned up really since maybe turn of the year. Cummon's obviously done a wee bit of work with him. The wee guy was the tallest player on the pitch yesterday. He never lost an aerial battle. It was
We'll go into him. We will go into him.
I'm using him as an example just now, is that he's finally settled, and I think it's small things in the background that's happening now within the club to get the best out of these guys and I'll make them feel comfortable and confident when they come into the environment. Not to feel the pressure off the crowd, but to almost relish it, if that makes any sense.
Aye. Dean Diamonde, future Rangers star.
Well, we've been crying out. The whole squad's been crying out for a central midfielder to take the ball and have a shot for for as long as I can remember now. We've now got a players who scored two games for outside the box by their feet, and both were pretty good finishes. Let's be honest, there weren't any flukes or scuffs or anything. They were both really, really good finishes. So to see that there's a player with that's got that in their locker is so refreshing for me and so pleasing, because we've been crying out for that for years, and that's just going to take us up another level now. And it's only going to encourage and inspire the team as well when you've got, could be up against it in games, but, like, got a chance that big deal will take a shot, and, things like that, where before we've never really had that sort of maybe option. So, it's he's definitely a future Rangers star. We'll do well to hold on to him for, a prolonged period of time, that's for sure, I think.
I don't want to be hearing that, Dean. I just don't want to be hearing that.
No,
Right.
let's enjoy him whilst we have him.
Well, Scotty, as you mentioned, Hezbollah, let's talk about him. Now, during the winter, there was a lot of talk about people wanting to get him sold for the money, right? Now, I think you'll know that I was like, why are people saying this? Are they honestly going to trust Borna Barisic in that position and leave him out? I said then that he was a far better player than Borna Barisic, because Borna Barisic has only got the one thing in his locker, and that's a dig into a cross. And that's it. That's all he's got. Was I right, or was I right, mate?
You were right 100%. I'm going to come in with a kind of different point on Borna, right enough. I think as long as he comes in and contributes, as a squad player towards the end of the season, I think he's going to. I think he's going to leave with a pretty good reception, to be honest, as long as he doesn't down his tools like the other two did last season. In terms of Ridvan, whatever Clermont's done with the wee man in the background, it's worked. I think playing inside, I don't know when I wanted Barisic playing over Ridvan. I've never wanted that. I've never once said it on a podcast either. I've always wanted Ridvan playing. I think the way Clermont's got him playing almost inverted as well, coming into the park, it's freeing up space down the line for Cortez or whoever's on the left-hand side. Wee man's producing the goods. And there's a photo of him yesterday where he must have jumped higher on Cristiano Ronaldo to win a header. He's a much more improved player, and we're seeing the benefit of that now. And if there was interest in him in January, there's going to be more interest in him in the summer, and we're going to get more money if we choose to sell him.
Dean, what's your thoughts on Yilmaz? What was your... I've not spoke to you a lot, mate. This is the first time you've came in my pod, obviously. I don't think we've managed to see a performance. Sorry, buddy. We've not seen a performance for Yilmaz like this. I think this has probably been his best, I would say, his best performance in a Rangers jersey so far. What was your thoughts before the game and obviously during the winter break?
My thoughts before the game, I was at his debut against Queens at Ibrox, and albeit it was against Queens, I could just see right away this lad's good. And this is before, you know, at that point we were still in the Van Bronckhorst, weren't we? So again, I was just like, this is a good left back. I saw videos of him in Turkey and whatnot, but I got the feeling that day that he was a good player. And then in his Rangers career, I was just like, he's never been given a chance. And really, then he had injuries. He was just picking up knocks here and there, and the reason he wasn't being able to stay fit and stuff. So Barisic, but then he started with him. I think he's the biggest shite bag ever. And after that embarrassment at Parkhead, he should never wear the Rangers strip for me ever again. However, that's a different story for a different day, a different thing for a different day. But and then in January, I was like, nah, he's not going. He's not going anywhere. I didn't want him to go. And luckily, he didn't go. But as Scotty said, if he keeps performing like that, it's only going to add pounds onto his value. Then come the Euros, also that's going to come into it as well. But I've actually thought his game, the last game against Hearts, I thought he was phenomenal in that game. And if you remember, I think it was later on in the second half, he came right across the pitch, and there was the defensive block at the right hand side, like Tav's side. And that was just a really, really good defensive move for the team, but for him as well. And I just thought at the time, I was like, there's no way in if you would ever caught Barisic doing that. Do you know? So, and as he's playing going forward, he must be a nightmare to defend against, because as Scott said, can come in being inverted, or he can go wide. And and I mean, now the argument that Barisic can cross better for him has to be completely knocked out of the water, because his crossing yesterday was sensational. So there's seriously no argument there anymore, in my opinion.
Well, I've seen the stats. I can't remember them offhand. I should have put them all up the other screen there, but I forgot to put it. But his stats were like absolutely phenomenal. So I've always liked him, and I thought this was his best game, and I hope there's more of it. I hope everybody's going to say the same. Scotty, we'll go to the second goal. Sterling gets the ball. They're a 50-50 tackle. He managed to get the ball, puts it forward, gets right in the line for Lawrence. Lawrence starts teaming down the line. Now, in the middle, there was Dessers, and there was Cortez, right? Now, I don't know about you, but when he was going down there, like, I could see that Cortez was in space, and I'm screaming at telly like a madman, don't fucking pass it to Dessers! Don't! But by luck, he pushes it right by him. I actually thought Dessers was going to try and get it. He looked as if he was going to try and stop it, but he missed it. Cortez just sweeps the ball and cool as you like. Excuse me, 2-0.
Aye, definitely. I think The goal looks, how do I put it? To me, that's an easy finish for Cortez because of how good the pass is for Tom Lawrence. Whether I'm wrong here or not, I don't know. But no, I'm not taking anything away for Cortez. But what I'm saying is the pass is
Perfect.
what makes it so easily. The pass is outstanding. It's outstanding. And I'm happy we're seeing Tom Lawrence get a bit, maybe a prolonged run in the team nowadays, and his fitness is getting managed a bit better and all that kind of stuff. But the way wee man's managed to get over the ball and just, like, he's almost side-footed into the bottom corner, isn't he? He's just a stroke of genius. I'm really happy with Cortez. I think he's a winger that we've all been craving for all season, if I'm being brutally honest with you, Curry.
Aye, Dean, that's so far during the game. We get 2 new signings on the goal sheet. What's your thoughts on Cortez, mate? What do you think him on the game itself and the actual goal?
I think Stevenson pretty much just touched on the goal was just class throughout. When never thought of it until Scotty said so about it being an easy finish. And when you're a winger and you're coming into a ball like that, and you've got the goalie where he is perfectly positioned, but the advantage is to you to slot it in. And if you're a good player, you've got good technique, you're scoring that all day long, which obviously Cortez is. And I have to disagree. I think he's the winger that we've been crying out for longer than this season.
Right.
I genuinely believe that having somebody come in, you just like this boy's good, and then that goal today, and he's going to be very good for us in this league challenge anyway. And
another one we need to try and keep.
Aye, I would strongly suggest that another one that's young, in the early 20s.
There's a clause in a deal, Curry. There's a clause in a deal that we can buy him. There's a buy option.
I know that. Well, that's the same with Diamande as well. They're the 2 that we've got options to buy. I don't know if it's
the money for him.
I'm not too sure if they've already set the price beforehand. Because remember what happened with I forgot his name. That's how much we miss him. Diallo.
Tillman, was it not?
No, Diallo. Remember Diallo.
Aye.
In Borussia, was it Borussia Dortmund? Minute they decided to buy the clause office, didn't they?
Aye, that was Tillman.
Was that Tillman? Oh, sorry.
Aye, and Bayern Munich bought a clause office.
Aye, that's it. Right. Cheers, guys. I'm murder. I forget my own name. So we're 2-0 up. Our next man that we're going to talk about, he had 2 chances, but I think both of them were offside. For him, that was probably a good thing. But 2 complete absolute fuck ups. I'm going, man. I'm going, how can you miss that? And I seen him looking at it. I'm going, I'll tell you what, you're lucky. That's fucking offside, boy. I'll tell you. That was shocking. So I'm like, what's this guy all about? Then what happens? Dessers does a Dessers thing, didn't he? An absolute peach across for your man Sooty.
Aye.
Swings in, into the right, absolutely perfect. Dessers leaps up like a salmon and just passes it right into the back of the net. It's 3-0. It's not even half time. What's going on? But Jacob at Dessers, Dean, I'll put this to you first, mate, as we go try and change it a wee bit.
Well, I've not been his biggest fan. I've been very critical. I'll hold my hands up, called him a hoodie and everything. I've been that critical. So, and it wasn't until things were put in front of me that made me think about things differently for him and how much actually Clermont's changed his game. And his biggest problem is, to maybe sidetrack that a wee bit, is when, in my opinion, he's given too much time, he just fluffs. See, when it's just there, like that goal, that ball for Suit, didn't get much time to think. He's just really got to understand where he is and where the goal is. And he scores a very, very good goal.
But clarity's on.
So, basically, do you know, so it's like, so, and I backed him to get a double, albeit it was, I backed us to win 2-1. I backed him to get a double. Because you know, like law of averages, he's a goal every 2 games under Clermont or something. So I was thinking he'll get a double. So very, very, very pleased for him. And if he can keep doing that, we're definitely going to be doing all right. And he's loving life. He's actually loving, you know, he's the action in front of the fans, you know, brilliant. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Scotty,
Mhm.
Dessers, a man's on a mission. Now, that's him, the third top goal scorer. Now, I've tried to back him. Always, you know yourself, I've tried to back him. I think there was one point, I think it was maybe against that mob, that I finally just went, nah, he's never going to make it here. The last couple of weeks since I've been away, maybe I should just stay away permanently, mate, because since I went away, he's turned into a goal machine.
Aye, I know.
Personally, right, I'll put this back to you, Dean, after I talk to Scotty, or let Scotty have his say. I still don't quite see him as the guy we need for next season. I was actually thinking, I was watching that absolute farce of a game, Chelsea and Liverpool. Everybody was slagging Chelsea off. I'm just thinking, they're just a one Dessers short of being a good team for me. So hopefully they maybe actually put a wee bid in for him. But this season, you can't, with the numbers he's got and the goals he's got and the assists he's got, surely we can't complain too much, mate.
No, we can't, but I still sell him in the summer. He's not the guy to go forward next season. Come on, staying well, getting a tune at him. But I'm not going to lie, seeing deadline day when there was rumoured interest at Torino and stuff interested in him, I was like, sell him. Just please, God, sell him. He's far too inconsistent for me, Corey. I like the fact he's scoring goals, he's playing well, he's showing us what he can do. But his start of the season just sticks in my head. Like, there was no work rate after the guy whatsoever. He wasn't running channels, he wasn't even winning nod-ons or flick-ons or making the defenders work. It was an easy shift for any centre-back he was coming up against. The article for Ronald de Boer stuck in my napper. But he's shut me up. He's shut me up, but he's not changed my opinion in the sense, so we need somebody younger, fitter, going forward next season. I think what come on in Coppin have done in January is they've bought their sell time. They're getting a tune out of Dessers, they've got Silva. Roof's back for however long he's going to be back for. Daniel's due back in March. So his training department's starting to look a bit more healthy for me. He's probably going to take us to Dublin or something like that now. He's probably going to score all the goals that gets us there. And I would still say in the summer, no, we need to sell him. We need to sell him.
Some of you Rangers fans, you're never happy.
Mate, I think if we can get our money back on this guy, we take it. We take it. Because $4.5 million's a big outlay. And I've been Lawrence Shankland's biggest fan. I'm not going to shout for Shankland just now. I think we need to go out and we need to get somebody in the Alfredo Morelos mould where we go to a team in Finland and buy the best player in the league. And then we get a tune out of them and we sell them for bigger money. I think in terms of your player trading model, that's kind of... That $4.5 million could have been spent. It's a lot of money. It could have been spent a whole lot better. Like bringing in a deal with Mandy, for example.
Yeah, well, as I said, mate, although I like Dessers and I want him to succeed, I think we need better for the coming seasons.
I think it could be good in a strike partnership. Let's see, I've good old-fashioned 4-4-2. But that's not fit by anymore. Do you know what I mean? It was for me growing up, and probably you and Oscar. I loved a 4-4-2 with a big man, wee man partnership up top, but it's not like that anymore. I just don't think he's the complete article that we need, because he misses big chances in big matches. He needs to start finishing them, and then fine, I'll possibly change my mind. But in terms of a long-term future, it's a no for me.
For me, Scotty, I'll say that's to you, Dean, what you think. See, when he's got time to think, I just think he tries to be cute.
Aye.
He tries to. He wants to get that special goal. He wants to be different in the way he does it. Instead, it leads me right into his second goal.
Mm-hmm.
When he first gets the ball, he farts about and he gets caught under his feet and he can't get to it. But look, Lawrence is there and he comes off, so he's doing what he always does. He seems to get into the position. This time the ball bobbles out. I don't know whether it comes off the Hearts player or it's Lawrence that manages to get a wee tap, gets him tape, and he just batters it into the back of the net. Second goal, mate. Is this really problem? Is he's trying to be too cute, too clever?
That's potentially it. As I said earlier on, he just too much time. He fluffs it, and that's obviously it's all these maybe things going through his head. Like he's actually quite clinical when he has zero time to think about it. If you actually look at a lot of his goals, that he's not had a fluke or do you know what I mean? But he's actually quite clinical without much time. So, and I mean, go back to that game against PSV, that pass to Matondo. I mean, he didn't have much time to think about that pass, but it's one of the best passes I think I've ever seen at Ibrox. Do you know what I mean? So he's obviously got the part of being outstanding in his locker, and maybe that's why he fluffs it, because he's trying to be outstanding every time he gets the ball. Whereas if he's just sorry,
Dean, on you go, mate, on you go.
Whereas if he just doesn't think about it, he's going to be scoring the goals for us. But getting back to what you said about the summer, no, he's got a bit of value on him. He's still at that age. If he has a good season, we're successful this season, which I'm optimistic that we will be, then that will obviously at least keep his value as to what it was last season. And you do look to sell him on to invest that into somebody younger with more sale-on value, which is the player trading model that Scotty touched on. That's pretty much what you do with that. And you're wanting a number 9 who you can put your faith in, that isn't going to fluff the big chances in the big games. You want your number 9 to be going into the big chances in the big games and putting it in the back of the net. And that's why you invest $4.5 million on your number 9. So, I would. That's my opinion on him. And if he scores a winning goal in the Scottish Cup final, or for us to win the league, he'll forever be a Rangers hero, won't he? But I think if he does keep going in the right direction that he's doing, and the wee tweaks that's been made to his game, he's actually, if you look at it now, I'd love to see a statistic. Everybody goes, he scored more goals. One of the biggest problems for me was how many times he used to get offside. I'm like, how can you be a professional striker and you're offside like ridiculous amounts at every game? I actually think he's maybe offside less now as well. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see a statistic on that. I wouldn't ken how to get that, how to do that. But if anybody's watching, if you could put in the comments, I would like to see what the difference is between Clement coming into what he was before.
It's definitely less. On you go, mate.
Gary, can I just say, see Desser's second goal yesterday? That's probably my favourite goal this season. All the goals we've scored in the league, domestically, in Europe, it's better than his Betis goal, because it just puts his laces through it and fires into everything. That's what I want to see from my striker. Get into position. He's too busy trying to put defenders and stuff on their arse. And he's really, really good at it, don't get me wrong. And when it comes off, it's a good laugh and all the rest of it. But see, when it doesn't come off, it's frustrating. Sometimes you just need to put your laces through it, and I think Clement's told them it.
Aye. What it reminds me, mate, is see the Homer Simpson gif where his head's there, and you can see inside his head, and there's a wee monkey like that with that's what he's like. That's what I think. I think that's what happens. See, when he gets time with the ball, that's the first thing. He's just like, oh, monkey. He just can't help himself. I love the guy to bits. He's a big handsome bugger, and I hope he just keeps on putting the ball in the back of the net. That's all I can ask. The last goal that we had, no, I can't remember who it was that put the ball in.
It was Lundstram.
Lunny. We'll talk about Lunny as well after we.
I know Luke Pash I'm talking about.
Aye.
And Silva.
Aye. And then Silva hammered that in. It's 5-0 against the third best team in the SPFL. We're just flying, and to be perfectly honest, I think that Big Phil was wanting more after that. But
Aye.
what's your thoughts on the fifth goal, mate?
Outstanding. No, I done a match reaction pod on the Rangers Journal with Billy all night, and we get talking about Lundstram, and Billy says to me on the pod that he had a good 6 months in terms of a run to Europa a couple of years ago, but he never once done a no-look pass. John Lundstram is doing a no-look pass playing for Rangers. I couldn't believe my eyes. That's the level that guy's at just now. Ridiculous. Beginning of the season, he turned up, and rumour has it, he was the fittest guy there. Won a beep test on first day of pre-season, all that jargon. But he was towing a caravan, he couldn't move. He was so sluggish, so slow. Anytime he get the ball, he was taking 100 years to decide what he was going to do with it. Now he's just zipping passes out left, right, and centre. He's getting on top of everybody that's run about him. It reminds me of Barry Ferguson a wee bit in terms of how demanding he is on his teammates. That's what I'm wanting to see from my Rangers centre mid. Everything he's doing just now is picture perfect. Picture perfect. This new contract, he deserves it. But on the wages, I think as a club, I think that's something, a wage bill, something we need to look at, because there's too many players on big wages that aren't producing. And Lundstram, for the majority of this contract, hasn't produced. I know he's producing now, but if you look at his time overall, and I think we'll come on to, he'll keep producing. There's Smoke Madro's just said in the comments, energy. That's exactly what he's providing. That sums it up in one word, energy. That's John Lundstram just now.
For me, mate, I think it's energy across the full team. He's not, the whole team are looking fitter.
It's that constant demanding, but that he's doing as well. That's setting a standard on the park. Brilliant.
For me, I think we said this a couple of seasons ago about Lundstram, that he was captain material.
Right.
I think over the last probably 2 months now, maybe 2.5 months with Lunny, just before the break, I could see him getting more mouthy. He was talking to other players. He was going on to other players. He just seemed to be more involved all the time. Has there been something said about captaincies to him?
Curry, do you remember, sorry to cut in, do you remember the League Cup semi-final against Celtic? Under Gio, I think it was, we won, we beat them in extra time. And a Celtic player was in the deck, and it was either Aribo or Bassey went over to make sure they're all right, and Lundstram went over and grabbed them by the shirt and pulled them away. Right? That's what I want to see in my Rangers centre mid. That's the Lundstram we're seeing just now, and that's the one that's got to continue if he signs this new deal. Sorry to cut you off, mate.
No, it's absolutely fine. Dean, I'll go into you. Lundstram. A player reborn.
I mean, you've just nailed it there. That's definitely what it's been. And I've said this on other pods that that pass today, just like I'll use the word, epitomises the transition in the type of player that Lundstram was before to what he is now. Like, even when he's getting the ball and he's thinking 40, 50, 60-yard passes, and he's, taking that on board, so taking that commitment that, I'm going to do it, I'm doing it. And that, I mean, was never in his 40 before, but he's doing it every game now. And it's just, as you said, he's wanting the ball, he's demanding the ball, he's wanting to take the risk to make that pass. He's wanting to take that responsibility on his shoulders, which is, inspiring to the standards that a captain is. That's obviously what you just said. And I mean, for me personally, I thought we should have got rid of him last summer, because I was just like, nah, man, he's just let's get
P45 for you right away, Dean.
Last season, I was like, let's just get rid of him. Let's, he's on high wages. Let's try and get some money for him.
I think everybody was saying that, to be fair, Dean.
But then he's saying that, but under Clement, he's this completely different player. I didn't even know that he could play like that. Like, he's 29, 30, been at Rangers 3-4 years or something, and it's the first time I think everybody saw him play this way, which is, as you say, what you want for your number 6 in the middle of the park. And that Old Firm game, I remember doing it, watching it, and thinking to myself, that's what's missing. That's what we need in the middle of the park. Somebody like, what the fuck are you doing? Come on. Okay, what I mean, that's exactly what you need in the middle of the park for playing for Rangers anyway. There's no standards that he's bringing to the side. Everybody is playing. Everybody's up in their game because they're seeing him up in his game. So it's got a massive domino effect throughout. And I made this point the other night. The standards that are getting set by players like him, the senior players in the team. Now I think all players would run through a brick wall for one another. And I think that's the standards are being set by the performances that Lundstram's putting in, amongst others.
I don't think it's just about just the standards that have proved, which have massively. I think there's a lot more fight, a lot more desire.
Aye.
A lot. I know you were saying as well, everybody else, it's a mentality that Phil Clement's brought into the team. But it's not just that. What I've noticed is there a lot more football and knowledge is getting used in the way that they're starting to know how each other are starting to play. I'm getting a wee bit muddled up here trying to put it into words. I'm not quite sure what the words I'm looking for. They just look more tactically aware as players.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Can I just make a point on that? After watching, obviously, yesterday's game, a prime example of that is you just see things like Cortez doing the wee dink over the defender for Redvan coming in the back, like wee tactical things like that they've got in their head, that there's the creativity, the imagination, to try things for them to pull off, and it nearly did, and they will, and when they will, and the score and all the rest of it. But the fact that we're now doing those things, which for a period of time we were starved of that kind of flair in the game, weren't we? So that's all down to the management and obviously the players themselves, but giving the players the confidence and the telling them do it in the game, do it. I mean, do you remember when I think Gio signed, and it was, remember the video that went everywhere, it was viral, and Roy Mackay told Ryan Kent that tricks were for the circus, mind. So Ryan Kent was probably at that period of time our best player for that type of thing, and he was told not to do that, and now it kind of seems that it's the polar opposite, that the players are allowed to have that wee bit of freedom to show what they can do, which is great to see.
I think the biggest difference, so I'll just leave that now. Scotty, we win 5-0. We go 5 points clear, and we get another 5 goals, although it probably won't matter, setting the standards, making the rest of them see that we're not just here for the good looks and the displays. We were all told that, it's all right when you're chasing, let's see how you are when you're on top of the league. Can you take the pressure? I think Rangers answered their critics, don't you?
Aye, they've more than answered their critics. But next comes the next biggest test of the season so far, and that's Kilmarnock away midweek. This team's proven that they've got it in them to not only get top of the league now, but stay top of the league, because they've stayed top of the league this weekend. Ultimately, that's what they've done. They're churning out results. I think, just getting back to Dean's point, I think a handbrake as well and truly off is the best way to say it. That famous Michael Beale quote. Clements took a handbrake off. The players are
get his name out of your filthy mouth.
Well, it's out now. It's stayed on it. But it's outstanding. Eh?
They sound like Will Smith up there to give you a slap, mate.
You've put me off my train of thought now. Cheers, Corey. But no, it's outstanding the way we're playing. I mean, we're not scared to go route one either. Look at the pass for Suter yesterday for Dessers' goal. Tells you everything you need to know. good at playing good football as well in terms of Lawrence when he sets up Cortez. That's good football. The fifth goal for me yesterday was the best. I know look past for John Lundstram's probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a Rangers match because it was John Lundstram that done it. You just like whoever predicted that Lundstram would turn into Ronaldinho for 5 seconds.
There's just a togetherness, mate.
That's that,
there's a together, and it's no just the players.
Mhm.
It's the players, the manager, the actual backroom staff. I think a bit of credit needs to go to your man that's right behind PC. He's been
great.
there, and nobody's seen anything about him. Huge credit to everybody, but the one person or people, we are the people, that I'm going to say has been a big influence in the togetherness has been the fan base, especially at Ibrox, and the ones that are going away from home as well. The atmosphere over the last few games, it's in fact, for the start of the year, has been outstanding. And it's been brilliant. That game, the other week there, it was like a European night. I've never heard a noise like that before in my life. That hasn't been a European night. So it's that togetherness now that's come in. Now, I want to go into the rest of the players because I want to mention a few of the players that came in. Sterling, I thought had a fantastic game. I thought he played really, really well. The back two, I'm a nightmare for slagging these guys off, and I actually said at the start of the season, if we've still got these 4 guys in our back 4, we're winning nothing. The only change has been Yilmaz for Borna Barisic, but we played with Sooty and we played with Golson, who I thought both had a really, really good game. A really good game. And Tavernier, I thought maybe the first probably 10-15 minutes, he put in a lot of stray crosses and that, and nothing was coming after him. But overall, I thought he definitely got a pass mark. But we spoke about Yilmaz. Sterling was just the guy. That guy is just—he's an absolute monster. He's an absolute monster, and I think he's got to be one of your top players for the rest of the season as well. I think he's going to be really, really important for us. Lunny, absolutely outstanding. Probably one of his best Rangers games out with a European game, I would say. Up front, Cortez, then we'll get Diamonde and Dessers. Every single one of them put in a shift, and I can't ask for anything more. I think we thoroughly deserved the win, and it took the pressure off us, and it put some pressure on that other team that are still second, I believe, and now they're another -3 goals apart from us now. Who I think they were playing the 9th. Was it 9th place they were playing the day? Was it 9th place team they were playing the day? And they managed to win the game in the 93rd minute, I think. It took them before they could actually win the game. So a lot of their fan base are actually thinking that that's the performance that's going to win them the league. I'm telling you, it's fucking not, mate. It's the 93rd minute goal against the 9th team who have been absolute fucking pish the full season. If you really think you're going to win this league and performance like that, give the number of your dealer, because I want it. Because that must be some good fucking shit you're smoking, guys. Holy shit. Anyway, that was my wee rant. I had to get that out. It's been a while since I've had a rant. Sorry, Dean. I'm sorry you had to witness that, but I had to get that out. I like to say my rants to the end, because I know it's only the proper maybe fans, just the guys that come and watch this, they'll probably stick to the end. I'm just going to go back and put on my brother from another mother, our Bill. Because I remember having a heated debate with you about our back 4. I said, fuck off, Bill. No, you don't get away with that. No. And Bill, when are you going to come on the pod, mate? I'm waiting for you. I know he's a bit. I don't. Anybody doesn't know Bill. Bill's for the gallant few. He's a budding actor, apparently. The guy is. I mean, he's going places. He's definitely going places. It's just a pity he actually looks like an axe murderer. I think he might get typecasted. So just watch him out for some horror movies and
He's
things
never
like that.
coming to comment on your pod again, man.
Hey, you come in this pod, you come at your
He's
own
going to
peril.
send him an invite. I think he's up for it, mate.
Whenever you're free, mate, I'll send you an email and we'll get you on. I'll probably be doing one on Thursday, probably after the game on Wednesday. Wow. This is what it's never ending. And the best is he's one of us. You can guess what the rest of them say in comments. Right. So quick guys, it's nearly an hour we've been on. I like to keep it under an hour. Right. Dean. Kelly, mate. Plastic fucking Park.
Yeah.
Is there anything we should be worrying about?
No,
Be honest.
I'll be honest.
I want you to date for there. No there.
Aye,
Right,
I'm doing
the
it.
head,
Doing it for there.
right?
Doing it for there.
Right.
Previous regimes would be worried in terms of being able to manage players that would maybe get a niggle or whatever on that pitch. I think Clermont will get it right. Kilmarnock that was our first game of the season. So a lot of the players will probably have nightmares still about that game. I think again, I'm probably going to be using what I said about Hearts. It will probably be the tightest game of the season for us, with it being on the plastic pitch and Kelly being really good at home under McInnes. So it'll be a tough game. But then I said that about Hearts and we pumped them 5-0. So who knows? But I'm not particularly worried. I think we've got enough in us to beat them with the way that we're playing, because we are probably we are definitely the best team in the country at the moment. So plastic pitch is what it is. Manage the players to keep them as injury free as possible and get the 3 points. One of them, get the 3 points and come home. Nothing fancy, 1-0. That'll do for me.
Now there's confidence for you, Scotty. 1-0. What about you, mate? What's your thoughts?
I think tomorrow is going to be a different type of match day. It's not going to be as comfortable as what yesterday was. It's a different challenge altogether. Kilmarnock have got some good players on their books. They've obviously got Kevin Van Veen. He's not really hit heights since he come back, so I'm not overly worried about him. But it's the likes of your wee Danny Armstrong. They've got a big target man up front, Vizell. He puts in a shift, that boy, by the way. Keep your eye on him. He doesn't score hundreds of goals, but he works hard. He really, really does. He's really good at his job. So I think it's going to be a different challenge. I think you're going to see it's not going to be like free flowing passing, move and all that kind of stuff. The ball's going to bobble. It's going to be our smoke Madrow's saying about Dave Watson as well. He's another up-and-coming centre mid in the Scottish League. He's really good. He's the boy who scored against Celtic at Parkhead. He put his top of the league. But I think it's going to be a different challenge. But I do think we're going to come out maybe 2-0 winners.
Right. Well, I am going to go.
You're going to go with 10-0 or something here, aren't you?
Well, I'm actually going to agree with where I had one. I've lost them. There it is. I'm going to go with our Bill. I think we are going to absolutely fucking hammer them, guys. I really do. But everybody's telling me, but they look at they drew against that mob. That mob were absolutely stinking. They're absolutely right rotten. They are not even close to your league right now, guys. Not even close to how we're playing now. Now, we just beat the third best side in our league. Kelly are not going to touch us. Plastic Park, I know. I'm going to go 5. Another 5-0. I'm going to go one less than Bill. I think we'll absolutely pummel them. I really
Have on your hat trick, money match, just for you, Corey.
Aye, and a penalty. There you go.
Aye. Would have
Three
thought five
penalties.
more just to keep you
Aye,
quiet.
3 penalties, aye, on extra time. Right, guys, before we go, right, I'm going to say, everybody in chat, thank you so much. Every single one, you're all crazy coming in to watch me, but I can't thank you enough. It's been quite busy tonight. It's been brilliant. Seen a couple of people that have not been in for a wee while. Seen guys that are here every single time. Obviously, they've not took their meds yet, having to come and watch this for an hour. But thank you so much for coming. I can't express how much I appreciate it. I really do. First guy I'm going to come to is my guy that's always here to help me out. You're Scotty. Scotty, thank you again for coming up. Before you go and say your goodbyes, who was your man of the match? Because this is going to be a hard one.
For me, it was John Lundstram yesterday. Just thought he would have won man of the match yesterday. Could have been absolutely awful yesterday, but see that no look pass, that's enough to get man of the match for John Lundstram for me, mate. 100%. Brilliant.
Right, say your goodbyes.
Thanks to our listeners and watchers for coming on again, and keep your eye out on Rangers Journal. Got another pod. When is it? Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Thanks to all the mods in the comment again. They're your unsung heroes of your pods. Thanks for tuning in. I'm on a gallant view again in half an hour, so no doubt I'll see everybody again in half an hour. Cheers, Corey.
No bother, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure, and as always, thank you. I tell you, you're telling me than fucking Ant Deck.
You're not right enough, man. Honestly.
No bother. And then a big appreciation, everybody. Put your hands together for the most handsome bastard you will ever see on YouTube, Mr. Jack the Dean Butland from the Rangers Journal. Thank you so much for coming up. Round of applause.
Thank you. Thanks very much for having me. It's been a pleasure. And thanks everybody for tuning in and watching us for an hour. And Aldo, thanks for your comment there. Appreciate it, pal. Aye, thanks for having me. Loved every second there.
Cheers, mate. As I was hoping that maybe Scotty would tell you that this pod's a wee bit different for your norm. It's
I told him, don't you worry.
Aye, did you well warn him? Aye.
Dean, you're in my phone now. It's Dean Butland, by the way, mate.
I'm actually, as I said, I'm actually going to try and get a little thing deal with Dean. As a Jack Butland lookalike, we're going to be doing gigs very shortly. If you're interested, I've already started an OnlyFans for him. So all you girls out there, for all the latest, we will be doing feet pics for extra. Body pics, they'll be £5 per shot, and no doubt that the used underwear will be getting used as well. So that will cost a lot extra, but we've still to come to some agreement in that. Right, Dean, you've been absolutely fantastic, mate. You're an absolute legend. Thank you so much for putting up with my pish, mate. It's been fantastic. Everybody, thank you so much for coming. Onwards and upwards, we are the people. Good night, guys.